First day, my name is Heather Hesman, and I'm coming here from New York City. I came from New York City, we came from a very different environment than what we have here. You guys are in a very beautiful Great Plains. And I come here almost every spring for the Santo crane migration, which is this beautiful thing. Have you guys seen any Santo cranes? Technically. Well, at dawn and dusk, you may see some of the cranes flying overhead. They're probably landing on the Platte River, but some of them, they're migrating through, so they're coming overhead. And there are 800,000 Santo cranes that funnel through this area. It's a very special area of the world. People actually come from all over the world to come and see this crane migration. So I've been doing that for a long time, and then I started making shows about it to share the information with everyone. So, as I mentioned, when I'm here, I should say I'm here with Elaine Benavides, who is doing the music, and I'm here thanks to Nancy Whedon from the Lead Theater or the Roots program. So I just want to get my thank yous in, and thank you, Ms. Shepherd, for bringing us in. So we're going to learn this little song, and you're going to hear it in the show, but there's some hand gestures with it. So I want everyone to learn the first song, which I'm going to come over here. And it's hand gestures, so can you guys make this hand gesture? So we're talking about, there's a big theme in the show about water. And so water is constantly moving in your rivers, down in your creeks and your rivers, and it flows out into the ocean. Water is also exceptional because it takes on many forms. It's kind of like this amazing substance because it can be liquid, it can be gas and clouds, and then it can be solid like glacier and snow, which is kind of an amazing thing. And then this third part of the song is about all the animals that live in the river. Actually, it's a fish. You're going to learn this hand gesture. Yep, you make a fish and it lives in the river and it swims not only as the water is flowing down into the ocean, the fish spawns swimming up against the current. And so you have this movement happening in both directions. So we're going to learn this song first. The first one is, the words are, rushing rivers, flowing, going to the sea, endlessly. I'm going to turn up the mic so I'm not overpowering. Okay, we're going to just learn it, and I want to hear your voices too.
Because the wind out there.
Are this for the rushing rivers, and then we say it's flowing, and we say it's going, and then we say it's to the sea, and it's a nice gesture, endlessly. The words are, you got some words in that song? It goes, rushing rivers, rushing rivers, go, flowing, going, flowing, going, to the sea, endlessly, to the sea, endlessly. Perfect. Rushing rivers, flowing, going to the sea, endlessly. Rushing rivers, flowing, going to the sea, endlessly. Rushing rivers, flowing, going to the sea, endlessly. My voice did not go high today. It's a little bit. Come here. You have a natural high. Usually you have a different high. So that's the first song. You guys know that one? All right. And when you even think about your own rivers, do you know what river is right here in the right? Actually, I heard someone say it. The Big River. And it is flowing from the north. It's flowing out to the sea. Down the side. Oh, really? Is it dry? It has some water. It is low. It's because we are dry here. Okay. Wow. Well, that's the thing. It's also fluid. Water comes and water goes. I've been here a number of years ago where you had a huge flood. That's what happened. I don't but they, no, I don't think so. I don't think they. Okay, well, the next song is about how water kind of, you can have liquid water, you can have gas and clouds, and then you can have solid as ice and glacier flooding on that mountain we have behind us. So, the song goes, over the plains, clouds are gathering rain from the mountain crown, all the water comes down. So we'll do the parts again. I'll sing it and then you repeat it. Over the plains. See that? Over the plains. Clouds are over the plains, clouds are gathering rain. When we kind of go up here as clouds, gathering rain. Yeah, over the plains, clouds are gathering rain. Gathering rain. From the mountain crown, all the water comes down. Or we'll try this together. I got that. Over the plains, clouds are gathering rain. From the mountain crown, all the water comes down. Try it again. Over the plains, clouds are gathering rain. From the mountain crown, all the water comes down. My instructions were a little off. Over the plains, clouds are gathering rain. From the mountain crown, all the water comes down. Over the plains, clouds are gathering rain. From the mountain crown, all the water comes down. Right. And now, thank you. A deep voice. Very hoarse voice today. All right. So the next part is the sturgeon in the water. Blue Creek doesn't have any sturgeon, but the Platte River does, and Missouri does, and Mississippi. So these are fish that swim up the rivers to spawn. And when they spawn, there's a sound that the male sturgeons make that says, "It's time to lay your eggs." So it goes, up swim the sturgeon to lay their eggs on the riverbed cobble. It's a lot of words, but it's what means is the sturgeon lay their eggs on the rocky cobble. It's a fish. We're gonna learn. Well, rocky cobble is that these fish need to lay their eggs on the rocks, and their eggs are sticky, and they stick on the rocks, and then they'll hatch. But what happens is when we have polluted water with like silt and debris in it, the eggs can't cling to the rocks. So it's really important that we have fast-moving water that they're swimming against, and then they need to lay their eggs on the rocks on the base of a waterfall. I'll do it, and then the words are a lot, but I'll do it so in sections. Up swim the sturgeon, to lay their eggs on the riverbed cobble. Good. And then it's the male sturgeon say, boom, 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 chuck, boom, 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 chuck. So you guys here, what do you want to do? Maybe up there you guys can do either your chest or your feet and make it really loud. Really their bodies. No, it's good for you, makes you strong. It makes you strong. Okay, we're gonna try and layer them all together. So we're gonna start over here and let's and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this section, probably from maybe like this green line. Everyone over here. This section, you're gonna do rushing rivers. And then we're gonna layer onto it over the plains from this section here. And then up swim, right? No, not even. Doesn't matter. There's a lot more over here. Now, if there's a particular song you really like, you can actually sing that song. But you're going to watch Miss Shepherd. So everyone's going to follow Miss Shepherd now, and then the section over here is then going to follow Miss Alyssa. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Go. Rushing rivers, flowing, flowing through the sea and the stream. Rushing rivers, flowing, flowing through the sea and the sea. Over the plains, floods are gathering rain from the mountain crown. All the water comes down. Over the plains, floods are gathering rain from the mountain crown. All the water comes down. Up swim the sturgeon, lay their eggs in the riverbed cobble. Swim the sturgeon, lay their eggs in the riverbed cobble. Swim the sturgeon, lay their eggs in the riverbed cobble. And that's the water cycle. Very good. It's all together. Perfect. All right, perfect. All right, we're going to bring out the bubbles right now. Right now. And all over. The water is flowing and that's going to show that. All right. All right. Here we go. Woo. Wow. Lane. My computer? You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. I sing that song when I'm in New York City and sometimes I'm a little ungrounded. Because I go outside and I get stuck on my phone and I'm doomed to scrolling and I have to push that phone away and get away. I said, okay, I'll get outside. And I go outside in the city and you know what? Sometimes the sun is coming from there at the same time as there and there because I live in a city with mirrored buildings and the light is reflecting off and I'm not sure where is the sun in the sky. So I think, oh my gosh, I have to get grounded. I go outside and I can't put my bare feet on the ground in New York City on the sidewalk. You are very lucky to live here in Crete, Nebraska, where you have nature right out your door. But sometimes for me, I have to find it inside and connect to the world around me. Sometimes you have to know where you are, know where the sun it rises. Where does the sun rise?
On in the sky.
It rises in the west? It rises in the east. Where is the east from here? I was told that way. East, north, east. So the sun is rising in that direction. Know where your sun is rising. Know where you are. Know where your water's flowing. I live in New York on the Hudson River. That water there flows from the north to the south. Where does your water flow? Your big Crete River. Is it that direction? And where does it flow? Yes, it flows from the north to the south as well. And I believe it may connect up to the Missouri, to the Mississippi. Many of the rivers around here all connect up to the Mississippi, which flows down to the Gulf of Mexico and down to the Atlantic Ocean. Know where you are. Know what season you're in. What season are we in right now? Fall? Spring? We're coming out of winter. Coming out of winter into the spring. Thank goodness. So I've had so much snow. I don't know about you guys, but it's so much snow.
What time is it?
Sometimes I don't know where I am, but I know where I stand. And I stand in the here and the now.
At 5.
And I'll go outside. The sun's to the left of me. What? That must be.
Can I call my mom?
Oh, the sun's to the left of me. That must be the west of me. The sun is setting in the west. In the afternoon, I'll go out. The sun will be that direction. And then, if I can find the west, east, north, then I can find the North Star. The North Star, the one point in our sky of stars and constellations, the North Star that never moves. The Big Dipper, I can always find that constellation and it points to the North Star. So I follow the stars and I know where they are. And I follow the constellations. I try to be present in time and I'm present in space with the moon. The moon. The moon. The moon and the stars and the sun. Okay, moon. The moon and the stars and the sun and this earth, where we are right now, Nebraska, Nebraska.
Leave it alone, okay?
Nebraska, land of the flat water, in Omaha language. The flat rock, Nebraska is the name of the Platte River. Your river that flows from the east to the west. And all the birds come and land on that Platte River. Anyway, we are in the center of the heart of Turtle Island. Has anyone heard of the word Turtle Island? Anyone heard of Turtle Island? No? Thank goodness, I am so excited to tell you about Turtle Island. Many First Nations people refer to the continent that we live on as Turtle Island. Can you guys see it? Can you see the turtle? It's North America. So you don't see a turtle? I see a turtle. Look, there's a paw up here in Alaska and another one here in Nova Scotia. And then the head is here. And then you can see there's a little paw, a back paw in Florida and another one in Baja California. And the tail of the turtle curls around here into Mexico. And then the crust of the shell of the turtle is here in the Rocky Mountains and the Sierra. And then in the Appalachian Mountains.
I see a dinosaur. Okay.
The idea of looking at our continent. Oh, here, I'll just begin. One paw in Alaska, another Nova Scotia, a foot in Florida, another foot in Baja California, and the head up here. I love this concept of Turtle Island. It makes me see the continent, the land that we are on as a living, breathing being. around. I've been here since pre-Cambrian times. Lots of little floaty things all in my shores, and the trilobites all in all my shallow waters, full of trilobites. I've seen dinosaurs, T-Rex, Archaeopteryxes flying, mastodons, woolly mammoth. I've seen sturgeon swimming up and down. I've had giant bisons, 7-10 feet tall, massaging my back for hundreds of years. Again, I've been here for 200 million years, and I've held life on this land. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, this continent. Oh, here I am. Oh, one paw in Alaska, another Nova Scotia. Oh yeah, you can see my legs. Baja California and Florida and the tail. This land has held life for so many hundreds of millions of years. Such a precious place. It didn't happen overnight. We think 200 million years is a long time, but no. To get to this point, it took billions of years, and it wasn't always so pretty. In fact, when the Earth was brand new and our star was just forming, there were planets looping and floating around the Earth, the sun. 4.5 billion years ago, it was just a raw, molten, fiery lava land. Lava. 4.5 billion years, the first billion years, lava. Water came. Water. They said it rained for 2 billion years. 1 billion, 2 billions. An ocean, water, planet. No land, no life. And atmosphere. Life. Atmosphere in just here. Look. Just here. Then. In the very end. Just here. In the last 500,000 years or so, a little life comes. A continent, a supercontinent. I break away from Pangea and come skidding across the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, there I am. Turtle Island. Took a long time to make me. A long time. 4.5 billion years. Long time in the making. Wow, Grandmother Turtle, that is really cool to know. 4.5 billion years. 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion and a half. That is a really long time. And then really, so the first billion years, they said it was like hot lava. Just, we had no atmosphere to stop any of the asteroids coming and hitting the planet. And then another billion years of just rain, just crazy. Scientists still don't even know where the rain came from. They said it was when it was cooling down that perhaps the rain was, condensation was building up. But the whole planet was underwater and was raining. Then the second billion years, well, then that's when we get bacteria and little planktons. Little planktons that worked on photosynthesis, creating oxygen over 1 billion years. First, it oxygenated the water. So it's like it became like a rusty ocean. And then after that, it went into the air and created atmosphere that created a safe place for the planet to then start to emerge. And then it's only here in the last chunk of time that we start to get continents and our turtle island. And many of the animals that were started at the beginning still Pangea, these fish swimming in oceans, and then needing to come up the rivers of land to lay their eggs, and then back out to the oceans. These sturgeons are actually older than North America. They swam when there were dinosaurs on the land, and they are still swimming with us today. The cranes, and this is the reason I come to Nebraska every year, is that we have many cranes flying in North America today. Two kinds of cranes in Nebraska. We have this whooping crane and the sandhill crane. But the ancestors of the cranes have been flying up and down the Turtle Island for 60 million years. 60 million years. One of its ancient ancestors was a tropical crane. That was when our Earth, when North America was quite warm, like a tropical land. We had a tropical crane. Here in Nebraska, you have 800,000 sandhill cranes. That's the oldest crane of the 15 species on planet Earth, is a sandhill crane. Another animal that has been with Turtle Island for many millions of years. Another mammal that was once on the land, a small mammal that used to just fish in the water and then come back onto the land. Fish in the water, and then they fished and they went out to the oceans and they never came back. These whales are now the largest mammals on the planet, larger than any dinosaur that has ever lived. One of my favorite animals on Turtle Island has been with us for 2 million years. Their hoofs are necessary for massaging the Turtle Island's back. We have them. These are the bison, the American bison. They were on our continent from the East Coast to the West Coast. We had 30 to 50 million of these bison. They are so needed. There are millions of hoofs digging up and massaging the back. All of these animals have been with Turtle Island for millions of years. Millions. And then where is the humans? Where am I? Where am I? Here I am. There I am. But humans, how long have we been on the planet? You know, we kind of just got here. Maybe our ancestors, they say maybe the most a million years, but really a lot of people say 300,000 years. Kind of like the last blink of the turtles. The last breath, the last blink, the last little moment of time for the turtle. All these animals have been here so much longer. And they've been flowing and moving on this turtle island, surrounded by water. Surrounded by water. Surrounded by water on this water planet. The planet is 75% water. I am 75% water. These animals are flowing and moving, and the water that has been with us for 3.5 billion years, that water that filled our planet then is still the same water that is still moving through the cycle today, raining down on Turtle Island's back, collecting in the rivers and lakes and flowing down to the ocean. Rushing rivers flowing, going to the sea. Here the Platte River, it flows into the Missouri River, which flows into the Mississippi and goes out to the Gulf of Mexico. Rushing rivers flowing, going to the sea. Any rivers that are to the west of the Continental Divide, just to the west of us, in Colorado, those rivers are going to flow out to the Pacific Ocean. Rushing rivers flowing, going to the sea. ocean. And rivers that are up here, way at the top of Turtle Island, are going to flow up to the Arctic Ocean. Rushing rivers flowing, going to the sea, to the Arctic Ocean. Rushing rivers going, rushing rivers going, flowing to the sea, endlessly, rushing rivers flowing, going to the sea, endlessly, rushing rivers flowing, going to the sea, endlessly. And that water, as I mentioned, is transforming from liquid to gas and vapor to solid in the form of ice and snow. Over the plains, clouds are gathering rain from the mountain crown. All the water flows down. Over the plains, clouds are gathering rain from the mountain crown. All the water comes down. Up swims the sturgeon to lay their eggs in the riverbed cobble. Up swims the sturgeon to lay their eggs in the riverbed cobble.
Look at his
These ancient fish that have been swimming, they've been living on our planet for 250 million years, since the dinosaurs. They also lived for a very long time, up to 100 years. 100 years. And they make up to 15 feet long. They've been around since dinosaur times. And here in Nebraska, you have 3 sturgeons in your rivers. You have the shovelnose. You have, anyone else know your sturgeons? You have a lake sturgeon that grows very, very big. And you have a pallid sturgeon, another very rare sturgeon. These guys are so ancient. It's so important that we protect them. These guys have been swimming with us for so long. They're kind of, like I said, they've been around since dinosaur times. They have these scoots on their backs, 5 layers of scoots, kind of like armor around them. And they have barbels on the bottom of their little whiskers, and the bottom of their face, that they can sense. They're out in the ocean and they sense food that's under the sand, and then they can vacuum it up with their little mouth. Sturgeons are solitary animals deep in the ocean. They're all on their own, just mysteriously swimming around in the ocean. But when it comes time for them to make the next generation, the sturgeon will go right back to that exact crack in the back of the turtle, the rivers where they were hatched. Up swim the sturgeon to lay their eggs on the riverbed cobble. They will swim and they will find that rushing river, perhaps the base of a waterfall, where they were hatched. Up swim the sturgeon to lay their eggs on the riverbed cobble. I'm coming. Rushing rivers, flowing. The sturgeon needs fast, moving, flowing water. And now those solitary sturgeons are now gathered together by the millions at the base of the river, at the base of the waterfall. It is the time to spawn, and the male sturgeon will make a noise. Boom, 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 chuck. And that signals the females. Time to lay your eggs. Now, these sturgeons have so many eggs. And out of the female sturgeon, little mini sturgeon. But this is a bounty. There's 2 million sturgeon. There are many. And these little baby fish fries are gonna feed much of the life on the riverbanks. You're gonna see, and they're gonna see the eggs and the little fish fry, and it's the spawn. The otter too. The otter comes up. Even the trees grow better from the nutrition that the spawn has laid into the water. A number of those fish that were born will make their way down to from the headwaters of the river, fast-moving headwaters of the river. They will make their way down to the mouth of the river before it goes into an ocean. It will hang out there for 5 years until they get strong enough to go on their own, and they'll venture out into the ocean. And 30 years later, 30 years later, one of those sturgeon heads may come back, say it's time to spawn. They're gonna find that river that they came from. The river remembers, the river recalls, the river brings life to one and all, bringing you back home. We want to thank this sturgeon for bringing all the Atlantic sturgeon that goes from deep in the ocean and brings up all this nutrition deep in the ocean and brings up nutrition up the rivers. We want to thank that sturgeon for swimming for so many hundreds of millions of years. Fly away. Take the sky away to your home. This crane is stopping on the Platte River. She has just flown from the south, where she has flown up from the banks of the Gulf of Mexico on the shorelines. She's landed in the safety of the shallow waters. She's flying 3,000 miles from down in Texas and maybe in Mexico, and she's flying all the way north. And she meets freshwater stopovers of shallow rivers and streams and lakes on her whole migration. She loves to land here in Nebraska on the Platte River. And these birds are so tied into the dawn and dusk. You will hear them. This is the time to find them, is at the dawn and dusk. So when the sky turns a blaze of orange as the sun is setting, which direction? Where's the set? In the west. When the sun is setting in the west, those cranes, you're going to see them. Cranes leap and cranes bow deep. Sing down the sun, singing, singing the sunset. Sing down the sun, singing, singing the sunset. Woo! And they'll sleep in the safety of a shallow water for the night in the Platte River. And then the next morning they'll wake up. And again, they're super loud at 6 p.m. and then 6 a.m. And you're going to see again when the sky is a blazing orange for the sunrise. Cranes leap, woo! And cranes bow deep. Sing up the sun, singing, singing the sunrise, woo! Sing up the sun, singing, singing the sunrise, woo! And They will eat fish. If they see a fish, yum, 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 they'll eat it. But the sandhill cranes, the ones you have so many of, they actually love corn. So that's one of the reasons there's so many cranes around here. They love the corn. Yum, yum, and they'll feed on the corn from last season. And they fill up their bellies, and they will gain about 20% of their body weight because they need that strength for them to finish their migration north. They're going north to Canada. And then they're off. Fly, fly away up the flyway. Take the skyway to your home. The river remembers, the river recalls. The river brings life to one who longs back home. Thank that crane for being so tied into the sunrise and sunset, making those sunrises and sunsets so glorious here in Nebraska, and flying for so many millions of years, consistently, never ending. And when that crane was on the coast, on the edge of the Gulf of Mexico, looking out over the horizon line, perhaps that crane would have seen perhaps she would have seen a whale, because our oceans are full of whales. And the Atlantic Ocean is full of whales, and the Pacific Ocean, there are 94 kinds of whales on the planet, and at least 1 million whales. Not only in our two oceans, but in all of the oceans on the whole planet. Which means we have whales. And they're in pods, family groups like this. Many whales will be swimming together, and they're in all of our oceans. We're going to have pods, family groups of whales in the Atlantic Ocean. We have whales in the Pacific Ocean. We have whales in the Indian Ocean. We have whales in the Arctic Ocean and the Southern Oceans. And they're in these large family groups, and they're singing together. They're singing together in their groups, and different pods will have different songs. And then sometimes they actually come together and exchange songs. Many of the whales gather at the equator, which is the center line here. Many gather at the equator when they have their babies. It's warm. And this time is the time that they exchange songs. I love the whale songs because it's fun to think about how they are communicating in sound. Our number one sense is often sight. But whales, it's so dark in these deep oceans that their eyesight is not the best. They really sense everything with their ears. So think if you were a whale and you had a skin like a drumhead and you wanted to make a song and it vibrates out from your body. And if you're going to hear all the other whales in your community, they're making a sound and you can feel it with your whole body. So make a sound like a whale and maybe another whale will come. So a sound of a whale. Do you guys know what a whale song would sound like? I heard it. Or it can be a low tone, but make a whale song, and maybe a whale will come. You are a pod of whales singing your song. those beautiful, big, giant mammals in the ocean are filling these oceans with songs being around for 50 million years. And from the songs that we hear deep in the ocean, from the largest mammal in the ocean, I think I hear the largest mammal on land. What could that be? Boom, 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 boom. What could that be? A bison go. Hoofbeats of bison. I think I'm hearing hoofbeats of bison. Bum, 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 bum. Hoofbeats of bison go. Bum, 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 bum. Hoofbeats of bison go. Bum, 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 bum. Hoofbeats of bison go. Bum, 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 bum. Hoofbeats of bison go. Bum, 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 bum.
Hoofbeats of bison go. Bum, 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 bum. Hoofbeats of bison go. 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 Hoofbeats of bison are rolling like thunder, shaking the aquifer from the under. Hoofbeats of bison are rolling like thunder, shaking the aquifer from the under. Hoofbeats of bison go. Come on, you guys, you can be hoofbeats of bison. Hoofbeats of bison go. Hoofbeats of bison go. Hoofbeats of bison go. Woo! Hoofbeats of bison rolling like thunder, shaking the aquifer up from the under. You guys, what's an aquifer, you ask? Does anyone know what an aquifer is? Do you know what your aquifer right here is? Have you ever heard of the word, and I'm not going to pronounce it very well, Ogallala? No word? No, you don't know this? Okay. Well, here in Nebraska, you are on one of the largest underwater aquifers on the continent. This means there's a freshwater lake right under the shell of Turtle Island. It goes across like 8 different states. It's an underwater aquifer. This is when you drill down for water. Those pit irrigations you see everywhere around the cornfield, they're drilling down into the aquifer and pulling up water. But they say when we have 30 to 50 million bison running across the land, they say when the herds of the bison went across, the springs would sprout and rush water. It doesn't happen anymore, but I love the idea of all these bison plowing, thundering across the land and making the waters move and spring forward. Hoofbeats of bison go. Hoofbeats of bison go. Move with the seasons, move with the wind, spreading the seeds and shaping the land. Hoofbeats of bison go. Hoofbeats of bison go. Whoa. Move with the seasons, move with the wind, spreading the seeds and shaping the land. We were moving by the hundreds, by the millions. Our foot aerating the soil, allowing the rainwater to go deep into the native prairie pastures. We were spreading the seeds on our fur. We moved around, spreading the seeds. We shaped the land, the undulating land. We buffalo wallows, wallowing in the ground, creating temporary wetlands that would allow frogs and lizards to hatch. When we move across the land, we eat just the tops of the plants and move on, never killing the native prairie grasslands, only strengthening the plants. You wouldn't believe this, but they eat just the top of the plant, and they pull slightly on the plant, strengthening the roots. So those plants, these drought-tolerant plants have roots that go down 15 feet, and they've been strengthened by being nibbled on the bison as they come through. These bison are healing the land and the grasses. Those millions of hoofbeats strengthen the land and hoofbeats of bison go! Hoofbeats of bison go! Hoofbeats of bison go! Our grassland prairies so healthy and keeping the land that keeping the plants strong and healthy. And then I think, what am I doing all of this? Living in New York City, in an apartment? Am I migrating 3,000 miles? Am I filling the oceans with song? Am I bringing nutrients from deep in the ocean up to other animals? You know, well, I'm an artist in New York, making shows, trying to keep my footprint on the planet small. You know, I'm trying to recycle and compost. You know, I think I did drive an electric car for a little while. You know, we're making our effort, but it's nothing like all these amazing animals that are flying, moving all over the place. What makes those animals move so much? It's the sun. The sun. Older than 4.5 billion years. Oh, you're right. Let's do it the other direction. Thank you very much. Do you want to do it this direction? Very good. So we have seasons. Why do we have seasons?
Because the earth's
Exactly, because we spin day, night on an axis. But the axis exactly is on an angle. Exactly, and the North Pole is pointing to I mentioned at the beginning, there's one point that doesn't move at all. The North Pole is pointing to the North Star. And then this angle is what creates our seasons. So when it's in a relationship, as the Earth orbits the Sun, when it's in this configuration, the Sun is heating the southern hemisphere. What season is up here? Winter. We are just coming out of this configuration, and we're coming into spring. Equinox, equal day, equal night. If you can see, if this was a fire and you were roasting maybe a marshmallow, you would see this marshmallow would be roasted perfectly on both sides. Equal day, equal night, equinox, spring equinox. And as we continue to orbit, what areas are getting heated? Northern Hemisphere. What season is that? Summer. Then we move again here. That's going to be the fall equinox. Equal day, equal night. Yes, exactly. This angle and our relationship to the sun is what so many of these animals are moving all across Turtle Island. But there's something else that's making us move. A little bit more subtle. That's true. The moon
the water in the planet, creating our high tides and our low tides. And it's interesting because I'm also 75% water. It actually, the moon controls some of the water in our bodies, and the waters, we all react to the moon. So, where's the moon? Here. Here. 75% water. The Earth. Moon orbiting around the Earth. Sun rising in the east, setting in the west. Here I stand on the banks of the Platte River at the spring equinox. I'm gonna look to my east, and I'm seeing the sun rising on the horizon in the sunrise. Sun up above, and then the sun sets in the west. All the stars around me. Dawn, day, dusk, dark. And the moon. Moon. In this configuration with the sun, moon, earth. New moon. Waxing. Full moon. Waning. New moon. Full moon, strawberry moon, summer solstice, when the berries are full and bright. New moon, full moon, the buck moon, on our way to the fall. Harvest moon, beaver moon as it gets colder. New moon, hunting moon. New moon, long night moon, the longest day of the year, winter solstice. Winter solstice. The sturgeon are out in the oceans. Spring equinox, just after the spring equinox is when the sturgeon swim upstream to lay their eggs in the riverbed common. At the autumn is when they spend the summer up the rivers, and in the autumn they swim down the rivers back into the ocean. The cranes, in the wintertime, they're down in the Gulf Coast, down in Texas and Mexico. Then, when it comes time to migrate north, at the spring equinox, right now, they visit Nebraska, and this summer, they continue up to Canada, where they build nests and lay eggs. The following season, autumn, that's when they will lay an egg, and when the baby is just 3 months old, they'll bring that baby crane with them and fly them all the way down back to the Gulf of Mexico. The whales, where are they in the wintertime? They're on the equator. Not all of them, but many of them are on the equator. that's their nursery where they're having babies. And in the spring, they're gonna swim up the coasts, the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and then they spend their summer eating krill in the Arctic Ocean. And then they will swim back down. And those bison, they migrate altitudinally. So in the wintertime, they're in the low valleys, in the safety of the low valley, away from the winds. And in the spring, they're gonna come up and go to the top of the mountains at the summer solstice, where the grasslands are fresh and green, and then they migrate back down to the low valleys. Winter solstice, spring equinox, summer solstice, fall equinox, feel the seasons down here in the south, moving through you over time, through the years. Fly, fly away up the flyway, take the skyway to your home. This is home. This is home where I belong. With this breath in this heart, this is home where I belong. With the moon and our sun and the earth, turtle island earth. Thank you. I'll answer them, but I would love to do the round robin of activities. But do you have any questions as I'm getting